NDC nyamepa memenda womo ekoyi womo regional executives. Na womo koyi womo regional executives na womo play key role in the organization of political parties. Ye mamenom ye nuamanum yes wamo womo lead political parties, and for that matter the NDC. Voter regional women organizer me pacho say
World Bank until can voter now the World Bank can account.
The World Bank of the NDC.
Yeah.
One more voter, regional women organizer, candidate, aspirant, hopeful. And I pay mention menino ADM Komo. Aku-Sika Kpene mention menino ADM Komo. Aku, it's good to have you with me this morning.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm most grateful.
I'm probably saying.
Nyame adom ye ho ye pa.
And I pay shiny you are glowing.
NDC dear. Odom NDC dear, you don't have a choice except shining.
Than to glow.
We are glowing despite the difficulties, you know. We have hope. We belong to a party that has hope, and we know what we are capable of doing. Until we smile at the storm, until we don't have a choice but to glow, even in the difficult times we are going into as a country.
Interesting. So how has been the campaign so far?
Oh, it's been meeting very beautiful, hardworking women. It's been an experience that I think everybody who wants to be a leader must go through. When you actually go down to the various branches, to the constituencies, and see what they go through to get the numbers we do get, then you know that, I mean, there's a heavy burden on you as a leader when you are given the mantle. But then as well, when you look at the hope in them, you look at the joy they bring to work, that also excites you because you know you're going to work with a team that is already poised to work. So it's been a mixed feeling, but all in all, it's been a good experience. Campaign has been good.
So what's been the message or Toma for now?
Okay, so the first thing is I'm telling my women I want to bring on board a very credible and hard-working women's wing for the region. Volta region is known to be the World Bank of the NDC, and we still are. I mean, and so if the population census is anything to go by, women are in the majority. And so for any political party that wants to win political power, you must pay attention to the women's wing. So I keep telling my women that we are the decider. And so I'm bringing onto board a leadership that's credible. That's going to encourage them for us to work hard. And when victory comes, we will smile and we will be rewarded. I would ensure as their leader that we get rewarded. It's some of the things I tell them. Another thing I really would want, a legacy I would want to leave with the women's wing when I'm done, is to build in the next 5 to 10 years a legacy where we groom female leaders from the region into all spheres of life. And so I'm consciously going to bring in young ones, groom them, let them shine in all aspects, professional life, political life, communication, any aspect, whatever they aspire to. The wing is going to consciously pay attention to females from the region, ensure that we climb the ladder whichever way we want. Of course, as a political party, it's political power we want come 2024. I'm going to be in the trenches with my women. I'm not going to be an armchair leader. I'm not going to be an office leader. Wherever they are, I'm going to be there with them. We are going to work very hard through every corner in the Volta region. We have 18 constituencies. We are going to go to each and every one of them through all the branches and make sure that the women are a force to reckon with in the region. In the last election, there was a lot of military deployment. Security was berserk in the region. There was a lot of intimidation. And personally, I had to face off military people when the men were running away. And so I've come to realize that the women have a role to play in the election. Because you see, these military people are more sympathetic when it's a woman they are facing off.
Okay.
And so the women, we have to brave it. We don't know what to expect in 2024, but if we are going by the things we saw in 2020, it means that the women have to be the front line when it comes to security. And I intend to conscientize us that we must defend our communities, we must defend our men, we must hold our turf, and so that we can protect our ballot boxes and make sure we are not cheated. It's some of the things I tell my women. They are excited and they are ready to work. Because looking at the challenges Ghana is facing now, we feel it more. We go to the market. We have to manage the home pairs. And so when you go to the market and things are just not adding up, you are more frustrated than your husband or your children and all that. You know that today I can't provide you breakfast. Way before they know breakfast is not on the table.
Indeed.
And so we go through a lot, and we are going through a lot under this dispensation. And so when I tell them that because of what we are going through, today I go to the market, I buy cassava. Tomorrow the price of cassava has changed, but my maintenance money or my food money is the same. Yeah. It hasn't changed. And so by and large, my women are poised to work. I'm ready to give that leadership they want. It's going to be very consultative. Before we take any step, we are going to sit as a group and we are going to discuss issues, and we are going to go out. We are going to consult all stakeholders. We are going to consult our MPs, work with the MPs caucus. We are going to work with the other regional executive bodies like the chairman, all that. When it gets to the constituency, we are going to work with the other executives. Our organizer, the women's wing comes under the organizer. We are going to work with our organizers. We are going to work with our chairman. In fact, we are ready to work. Anywhere they turn us, we are ready to work and get the numbers.
You kept emphasizing the fact that the voter region is a stronghold of the NDC, and that is the World Bank. But we saw what happened in 2016, where virtually people folded their arms. There was apathy. We saw what happened in 2020 as well, where Honorable Amewu has a seat. And so are you that confident that indeed the voter region is the stronghold, is the World Bank of the NDC, with the incursions the opposition is made into your stronghold?
We are very confident we still are the World Bank. In 2016, I guess there was a lot of deceit in the air. People thought that we had the NDC for a while, we wanted a change, and of course, all the flowery promises Akufo-Addo made with all his one district, one dam, I'm going to give you all that, Keta Seaport, I mean, all those things. So people, I guess the younger generation at the time, forgot what these people actually do. And so they tilted a bit. They have paid a heavy price of it, and we have regretted as a region. In 2020, but for the gerrymandering of the last minute SAL being taken out and denied vote hours before election, there was no way Amewu would have won Hohwe City. Because the number of people that were deprived from SAL are 3 times the number Amewu won with. And so there was no way under heavens Amewu could have won Hohwe but for that 11th hour gerrymandering. Amewu himself knows that he's a one-term MP. He's very much aware of that, because now we know what they can do 11th hour, and so we are prepared. In 2020, I was in Hohwe, facing off military people for hours. I was there. It wasn't as if it's a reporter's suite. I was there myself. I saw what happened in Hohwe. The Hohwe people were not willing to have Amewu, but the importation of people, the last minute taking out people, all those things worked in Amewu's favor. He promised heaven on earth. Hohwe is still what it is, worse than he came to meet it. And so Hohwe people have regretted. In fact, those things have emboldened those who slacked a little bit, that no, we are coming back to our old love. That's what they are saying in Volta region. And so we are going to rake in our numbers largely in Volta region. People are ready In fact, every now and then, yesterday I got a call. Every now and then I'm getting a call. You people sit up, oh, as for us, we are going to vote for you. Make sure you protect us. As for the vote we will give you, is the protection we, so
but
people want it.
Is there much to be shown for the Volta region being the World Bank of the NDC? That seeing that, for instance, if you look at here, maybe here we might say it's because it's the capital, but you go to other places and you see the kind of infrastructure works that are being done. I mean, over the weekend I was in Keta, and I saw the houses that have been eaten away by the sea. I saw, the fact that I'm looking forward to certain infrastructure and it's not there. And as much as the place is ripe for tourism, I'm not seeing much when it comes to all these things. And this is a place where we've had 2 administrations of the NDC in power. And so even if the current administration or the Kufuor administration didn't do much, I would have expected to have seen more from the World Bank of the NDC, which has been in power twice. Should you be the World Bank with what I saw?
Okay, so anything to start, anything worth a salt that you find in Volta region now, from K2 South all the way, the then Krache at the top there, Ketakrache at the top there. Anything worth a salt you would see, from education to health to road, whatever it is, any developmental project worth a salt you would find in the Volta region was done by NDC. That's established. Notwithstanding, the region needs more. And it is the reason why NDC has to stay in power a lot more. In the past, we have had administrations where, even though Volta region has been the World Bank, our leaders from there have tried to be fair and develop across board. And so there was not full concentration on the Volta region. So yes, we are deprived in some ways. But it's not to say that we haven't done anything. Name it, whatever market, it was NDC. Whatever hospital, it was NDC. Whatever educational infrastructure, it was NDC. From district to district to district to district. So yes, I agree that the Volta region needs a lot more. Whatever it is we have now, it has been the NDC that has done it. The NDC has realized that we must pay attention to our core first. And so we intend to correct those things in the next administration. The NDC has become aware that any time Volta region has shaken a bit, it was in trouble. And so this time around, we've had JM visit the region severally and has had discussions with stakeholders and has told us that things are not going to change. It's not going to be the usual, okay, we are sharing for every region. Special attention will be paid to the region. Because the last census tells us that we have more of our numbers living outside the region than in the region. And it's all because of these developmental gaps and all that, infrastructural gaps. And so we are going to concentrate on the region, build it, and have our people come back home. Take care of our aged that are being abandoned. The youth are all drifting away. When you go to our villages, you only see old women and young children. I mean, the care system is breaking down in Volta region because of these things. And we know it and we feel it. So we are going to work at it. It's only the NDC. Nobody should deceive us. It's only the NDC that can face our region. And we've come to realize that we thought that this other, I mean, if a whole president can tell one of our astute chiefs that go and build a secondary school yourself, when the chief says, oh, can you pay attention to my school? And the whole president sits on air and says that, or Babe instructed me, he should go and build it himself. I mean,
now,
so, I mean, we know that it's only the NDC that's going to help us. And so we are ready to come back.
Now, important one, Sikasem, because Ukasababua, Yenuanumano, Yamamenum, and Hong Koneba. Yan funny said, watching it, you were winning. You were 2 years virtually before I became elections. That empowerment, How are you going to fund that empowerment program you're talking about? Seeing the economic circumstances we are in already.
Yeah. So thanks for that very, very good question. One, as a political party, the main aim is to win political power. For now, between now and 2024, we have 2 years. I want the full concentration on how we can work to get political power. I've come to realize, increasingly, things are changing. And so political parties, we can't just concentrate on winning political power without considering the development of the individuals that are in our parties. Because if we continue to do that, the party is going to grind down. So, one, for us to be able to win the political power, we need to be resourced.
Okay.
So I intend early in the day in my administration to start putting things together, start knocking on doors, start putting in our local parlance, we say susu, susu nintem. So that by 2024 we'll be resourced as a wing, we'll be self-sufficient to run our campaign. And by the grace of God, if we run our campaign well and win our campaign, why not? All the interventions that government is going to come with to help alleviate poverty, all sorts of things that will come, why can't we have access to them? And so, yes, I'm going to lead the wing. We're going to work very hard. We are going to resource ourselves. We are going to knock on doors to help resource us. And we are going to work. And when we do win power, trust me, it's not going to be like the of old that we shy away from going to ask. We will demand our pound of flesh. And I'm sure our leaders, JM, and then our leaders are not going to turn their backs on us. We are going to be fine. Yes.
What's the vision? Because being a national women organizer in the Volta region,
a regional women organizer.
Yes, sorry. You're going to work with the regional chair, the secretary, and the rest of them. But obviously, you would have a vision of your own for the women and the community. You've highlighted a few of them. But in terms of the regional scope, where do you see the Volta region under your watch? Where do you see yourself?
Volta region women's wing. In fact, we carry the party. For any political activity to be held, I've quietly noticed that we do all the work and the men come and mount the stage. When they say mobilization, it's the women that will come out, cleaning the places, the women that will come out, going to the communities is the women that do go to the communities, going to the markets is the women, and all that and all that. One, like I said, I intend to bring credibility to the wing. I intend to show our hard work. And that's what we are going to bring to the table to bargain for a pound of flesh. We, as a wing, our vision is eventually to have at every leadership table seemingly equal gender balance. We go to meetings and sometimes you don't have any female representation. And so itineraries and programs are drawn out and you realize that the women we don't feature. So we are the background. It is something that I want to consciously have the leadership of Volta region become aware that on any day, on any platform, even if there's no total balance, we must have some women balance. In decisions that are taken, women should feature. We should consider that there are two genders. There are some of the things I can't even say on air. But yes, women must feature and feature greatly in every itinerary, in all decisions and all that. All the way to the constituency and branch levels. And yes, after we have gotten our pound of flesh, as in we are at the table, we would have to be resourced. in terms of we come to power, most of the time you realize that the decision takers are the men who decide what position goes to this, what position goes to that. There are very few women there. And so our interest is not served too well. That thing is going to change. We will have a lot more women at the table and we'll take decisions that will inure to the good of the women. Yeah.
Now, let's come, we have, let's say, 10 minutes before the conversation comes to an end. I am thinking about NDC in power, and then you being the women organizer. You're talking about gender parity, you're talking about strengthening the women, but I'm also thinking about the youth and the children as well in the community, because if you mention mothers, that's what comes to mind. They are the ones responsible for the youth and then the young ones in the community. In that respect, what's your program like to capture this group?
Okay. So something that is exciting me about the current crop, we are done with our constituency. We did our branch. I went around to monitor the branch elections. I was excited. All the places I went, I noticed that very, very young women have entered the wing at the branch level. When it comes to the constituency, we just finished, I think the last one, which was Hohwe, was done this weekend. We've had new entrances, and almost all these new entrances are very young women. And that excites me because we have been losing the younger ones to MPP in the region. It is the younger ones who seem to drift to the MPP. And we've had a problem because most of our women organizers were elderly people. And relating with the younger ones had been a problem. So now that we are having younger people, whoosh, that is good. We are going to rake in the youth. We are going to rake in the younger ones. We are going to even catch the ones that are below 18 young, so that by the time they turn 18, they are part of us. I'm excited about the team I'm going to work with. As a regional women organizer, the programs we will roll out will be youth sensitive, will be child sensitive, such that they feel a part of us, especially even under the 18s, so that by the time they become politically aware that I can vote and all that, they think the natural course is to be with us. In fact, that is what our parents did to us. And yes, I mean, we owe no apologies for saying that we from the Volta region are predominantly MPP. The same way any other NDC, the same way any other region will claim to MPP. We don't have any apologies. We are proud of it. And so we are going to instill what our parents instilled us, and we are going to instill it in the younger ones, such that by the time we are going off, the party still survives. So youth and children are catered for under our wing as the leader of the women's wing.
Well, your sister and friend, Fafa Gbeho, is monitoring the conversation. And she says for me to say hello to you.
Accra, hello.
Yes. Now, let me give you the opportunity. Your constituents are following the conversation. What do you have for them?
I greet all my ladies from the Volta region, from K2 South, K2 North, Akachi North, Akachi South, Anglo, Keta, the 3 towns, Ho Central, Ho West, Agotim Eziopi, Adaklu, Hohwe, Pando, North and South Dine. I greet you all. This is Aku-Sika, your very humble servant who is seeking to be the regional women organizer. One, I'll congratulate all of you for making it out of your elections. On Friday, we are going to have the opportunity to elect a regional women organizer. I have come to you to choose me, who I'm number 1 on the slot as your regional women organizer. I have worked in the wing for the past 3 years, and you can attest to the hard work I have brought on board. I have roamed and combed every nook and cranny of the region. Nobody has ever invited me for any program and I hadn't shown up. I have, in my small way as the deputy, helped to resource women to work in various capacities. Now, even as a deputy, if that was what I could bring on board, you can only imagine what I'll bring on board as a substantive. So my plea to you is that on Friday, when we go to vote, you vote for Aku-Sika, who is number 1 on the slot. I bring to you service in humility, leadership in humility. I'm going to work with you. I'm not going to work for you. I'm working with you. And I know that I have come to you in your homes individually. All of you, I have been to your houses and spoken with you. The conversations we have had, I stand by them. I promise that by the time the 4 years is up, everybody will know and testify the work the Women's Wing has done for the region. And for that reason, your re-elections are not going to be too difficult because your communities would have seen what you have done. My re-election in the future would not as well be too difficult because you would have known what work I have done. Winning Power 2024 will not as well be difficult because we are working from now. We are not going to wait for election year, like I've told you. So I plead once more that on Friday, when we go to the Waison Hotel to vote, you look out for number 1 on the ballot paper and you vote for me. And we will work together and jubilate together and enjoy together. Thank you.
I'm sure by the time the day is over Friday, you'll be smiling.
Oh, thank you.
I thank you for making time. I know you're all over combing and do your final touches here and there, but we managed to pull you here all the way from the Volta region. We're grateful you made the time for us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm grateful.
Yes, I'm
so
also
grateful
grateful for having me. Thank you so much. And thank you to your viewers and listeners. I think Happy FM and then ETV, you are doing a very good service to Mother Ghana. And please continue.
We'll do that.